In paradise I poised my foot above the boat and said, "Who prayed for me?" But only the dip of an oar in water sounded. Slowly, fog from some cold shore circled in wreaths around my head. But who is waiting? And the wind began, transfiguring my face from nothingness to tiny weeping tears. And when my voice grew real, there was a place, far, far below on earth, there was a tiny man. It was my father wandering round the waters at the wharf. Irritably he circled, and he called out to the marine currents, up and down, but heard only a cold, unmeaning cough, and saw the oarsman in the mist enshawled. He drew me from the boat. I was asleep, and we went home together. 10 more miles, it is South Dakota. Somehow the roads turn blue when no one walks down them. One more night of walking, and I could have become a horse, a blue horse, dancing down a road alone. I have got this far. It is almost noon, but never mind the time, that is over. It is still Minnesota. Among a few dead cornstalks, the starving shadow of a crow leaps to his death. At least it is green here, although between my body and the elder trees a savage hornet strains at the wire screen. He can't get in yet. It is so still now, I hear the horse clear his nostrils. He has crept out of the green places behind me. Patient and affectionate, he reads over my shoulder these words I have written. He has lived a long time, and he loves to pretend no one can see him. Last night I paused at the edge of darkness and slept with the green dew, alone. I have come a long way to surrender my shadow to the shadow of a horse. The moon drops 1 or 2 feathers into the field. The dark wheat listens. Be still, now. They are there, the moon's young, trying their wings. Between trees, a slender woman lifts up the lovely shadow of her face, and now she steps into the air. Now she is gone, wholly, into the air. I stand alone by an elder tree. I do not dare breathe or move. I listen. The wheat leans back toward its own darkness, and I lean toward mine. A bear under the snow turns over to yawn. It's been a long, hard rest. Once, as she lay asleep, her cubs fell out of her hair, and she did not know them. It is hard to breathe in a tight grave, so she roars, and the roof breaks. Dark rivers and leaves pour down. When the wind opens its doors, in its own good time, the cubs follow the relaxed and beautiful woman outside to the unfamiliar cities of moss. My father died at the age of 80. One of the last things he did in his life was to call his 58-year-old son-in-law Honey. One afternoon in the early 1930s, when I bloodied my head by pitching over a wall at the bottom of a hill and believed that the mere sight of my own blood was the tragic meaning of life, I heard my father offer to murder his future son-in-law. His son-in-law is my brother-in-law, whose name is Paul. These 2 grown men rose above me and knew that a human life is murder. They weren't fighting about Paul's love for my sister. They were fighting with each other because one strong man, a factory worker, was laid off from his work, and the other strong man, the driver of a coal truck, was laid off from his work. They were both determined to live their lives, and so they glared at each other and said they were going to live come hell or high water. High water is not trite in southern Ohio. Nothing is trite along a river. My father died a good death. To die a good death means to live one's life. I don't say a good life. I say a life.